time to overreact. Here's an overreaction for you. Cooper Webb is gonna win this championship. I mean, that doesn't even feel like an overreaction right now. Doesn't it feel like that's happening? Like all of a sudden the stars are aligned and there's Webb and everything's coming together like he always does in his championship years, where the starts come together and the speed comes together and the racecraft's always there, and there he is winning races, and now he's got it down to even. Look, I saw the guy walking from the tunnel to the 450 gate for the main event, and the look in his eye, it was like he had laser beams in his eyes. He is so serious and so locked in, and you could feel that from the moment you saw him on track. They're in big trouble because he's won this championship twice. Okay, let's be honest. Jett's never won the 450 Supercross championship, and Sexton did win last year's in a different type of fashion, but Cooper Webb has been in these late title dual fight brawls. I think he's salivating right now, and he's coming together. He gets the win, and he's funny in the press conference, so the mood is good. They are in serious trouble. I also think this is one of his better wins, too. If you look through the history of Cooper Webb wins, he claws his way, digs his way out of trouble, fights, claws, whatever, and he wins the race, but he doesn't often get out front and just win wire to wire like that. That's not in the Cooper Webb book of tricks, typically. You know what? For this championship, I think he's going to need a range of tricks, and this one's probably going to be needed again. 4 races to go. You're going to have to probably win 2 of these at least, maybe 3, and if you could get out front like that and check out on the boys, that's going to give you better odds, but that is not the typical Cooper Webb way of doing things. Oh boy. I'll tell you what, too. I think he's bitter. You know, we talk about Eli Tomac all the time and how he was bitter about losing that championship, and he was having a vengeful return season trying to get that title back. Well, don't forget, Webb was in that title hunt last year too, and went out at Nashville in a bad crash, but he was in that fight too late in that championship. You know, where's the talk on Cooper Webb's bitterness from last season and trying to take the championship back that maybe he thought was his? Man, I think the guy is bitter, he's locked in, and all his bag of tricks are there, and they're in deep, deep trouble because Cooper Webb has all of it right now. And unfortunately for the competition, they know it too. If we're talking about it, they know it too. They don't want to see Cooper Webb like this. Jett does not want to see Cooper Webb like this, especially when he is a little off of his rocker. I'll just say it. I watched him. My own eye test says that he was not at 100%. He still had a great heat race, and he had fast laps, and he was good in the main event. Whatever. That was good Jett, okay? That was good Jett, but great Jett is that ceiling, that extra something, that get through the pack and then close on everybody in the main and get them all, not just come up short to Anderson's. I do think Jett is feeling the effects from St. Louis. Probably not bad, like not hurt, like messed up, but probably enough to, you know, ruin the program, ruin the training, ruin the calendar and what they had planned for the off week. A little off his schedule, off his rocker. He comes in, feels pretty good, but not enough to be super great on a track that I think he needed to be super great because it was kind of an equalizer. They were all pretty close to the same, and he needed something special, and he just didn't have it. I do think he'll be better at the next one because time heals, and he'll be better in a week, but yeah, I definitely feel that he's feeling the effects from St. Louis, and that's why he was just a little bit off. Now lost 3 races in a row, too, so momentum not trending the right direction, and I know that's not a big deal. You could just go to the next one and win it, and it's all fine, but in reality, it's a kind of a momentum thing. If you're momentum the good way or momentum the bad way, and he's gone from winning and dominating and making us all think it's over to 3 straight losses, and now he's tied with an absolute dog with 4 rounds to go. So for Jett, you kind of need to win this next one just to stop that trend alone, let alone just get the points. And that brings us to Sexton. Chase, man, you are gonna have to take this thing, bro. Like, it is sitting right in front of you. That was a win that maybe could have happened, had to be a little better, but I just think that the points that you have accumulated have been done the right way. That's why you're still in this thing, 15 down, but it's time to swing, baby. We gotta swing for the fences because Jett's gonna swing for the fences. Cooper Webb is just a dirty dog in the last month of a championship, and Chase, you're 15 down. If you wanna win this thing, you're gonna have to actually swing for it pretty hard and take some chances and take some gambles because as of now, the solid thing has worked to be here, but that's not going to be enough with 4 to go. There's some tracks coming that you're very good at. You're good at Salt Lake. You're good at Denver. You're good at Nashville. Nobody's raced Philly, so the schedule looks good for you to make a run, but dude, you're going to have to swing for the fences. Swing, Merrill, swing! All right, how about 250s? Danger showed us what danger is like when danger is at full strength. Okay, now remember back to the beginning of the season, all right? This guy was hurt. He had a wrist injury. He kept it quiet. No one knew, but we all knew, and he was not himself. Then he had the first turn crash. Then he did win a race. He won the race against Austin Faulkner when Faulkner went down, so there was that positivity, but then there was bad Daytona, then the Birmingham. Like, this whole season has been a mess, but it all started with being behind in his prep and on the wrist. He was not 100%, and that was obvious coming into the season, and now he's had time. He had a break, and he was able to put the laps in, get the work in, heal up a little bit more, and then he comes in and wins the race. Unfortunately for McAdoo and Vial, I think this is the real Deegan you're going to have to face the rest of this championship. Now comes to showdowns, which I know typically you're going to say, hey, showdowns help the guy that's behind in points, like Deegan, 13 down. But in reality, showdowns can help the other guys too. Showdowns are crazy and wild, and if Deegan gets too excited and too revved up trying to chase around Levi Kitchen and then makes a mistake, then Vial and McAdoo actually use the showdown to pull away too. Deegan's 13 points down. This is not his. It's not going to be easy. He's going to have to take this from these guys, and they're both smart. And showdowns, it's more about how smart you are than how fast you are. I don't think it's a guarantee that Nashville's just going to be perfect for him to gain the points. He might lose points in Nashville to the other two because they're good too. And just because they didn't win this race doesn't mean they weren't good. McAdoo is clearly the number 2 in the series. Vial is clearly the number 3 in the series, and they're right there on his tail. And any slip up, and they're going to beat him. So he has no wiggle room, but luckily for him, he is the best in the class. He just proved that with a little bit of prep. He is the best in the 250 East. And for Cameron McAdoo and Tom Vial, just a little forewarning for your championship hopes. 2s and 3s aren't going to cut it. Consistency's not going to cut it from here on out either. You're going to have to stick another win on the board, at least 1, probably 2. That's just how it goes with the points. You can't manage your way into this championship, not with someone like Haiden Deegan, who is going to come in there, rev limiter, firing Goggins all over the place. So Tom, Cam, you got to win more too. Consistency is what got you here, but you need wins to get this title done. All right, let's talk about the futures. Of course, when the takeout happened, my phone started buzzing in my pocket. It was texts, it was DMs, it was everything. Yes, okay, Fowler, Davies, they are both my riders. I do manage KTM and Gas's amateur elite programs. They are teammates, they are my riders, and yes, they got into each other. So here's my take. As a team manager, I am super bummed for Davies, super bummed. He rode amazing through the pack, made decisive passes. His lap times were incredible, and he made an aggressive pass for 3rd on his teammate. And there is nothing wrong with that. It's for a podium or a win or a transfer spot. That's okay. And he was aggressive. He wanted it, and he took it. The problem is, over the next couple corners, there was no real chance to get away, and he left the door open, and his teammate, who wanted the podium back, decided he was going to be aggressive too. So I felt bad for Davies to go down and lose a podium, but I was proud of Luke Fowler, who got his first podium from fighting back. That's my team manager stance, and now here is my forever stance. Take the graphics off and the numbers and the names. Here's my stance. If it's for a win, if it's for a podium, if it's for a transfer spot, there's a little bit of leeway. You can be a little looser with the rule book, and you can get physical. Now, you can't T-bone, you can't hurt people, you can't jack people. That's not what's allowed. We know that. But hey, when it's something special and it's an earned moment you've been dreaming of your whole life, you get to be a little bit more aggressive. Both my boys were aggressive, and I'm stoked that they were. I don't want them to change. Unfortunately, sometimes you get into it with your teammates. That's just how it goes. Cooper Webb and Marvin Muscan used to get into it all the time while they were chasing championships. No, both these boys are wolves, and like I said on Twitter, sometimes the Cubs play rough.